Media and guests, thank you very much for coming. Welcome to the ICC Men's Cricket World Cup 2019 Captain Media's Day. My name is Mark Chapman. I'm going to guide you through the proceedings over the next hour or so. And for those of you who aren't from the UK or even aren't from London and don't know this area, we are very close to an iconic UK sporting venue in Hackney Marshes, just a stone's throw away from here. Virat Kohli. From Pakistan, Sarfaraz Ahmed.
Fifth catch for Sarfaraz behind the stumps. What a game he's having. 2 sixes in a row. He's got some talent, some class, this boy.
This may seem a ridiculous question to you, Virat, but is there less pressure on you when you aren't playing at home?
Yeah, we have both our warm-up games televised already, so not much pressure on the Indian team wherever they play. But yeah, look, there's always going to be a huge fan base for us anywhere we play in the world. But yeah, I have to agree with Aaron. I think England is probably, in their conditions, the most strong side in this tournament. But I also agree with Moggs that all 10 teams are so well-balanced and so strong. And the fact that this is a tournament where we have to play every team once makes it all the more challenging. And I think that's going to be the best thing about this tournament. And I see this as probably one of the most competitive World Cups that people are going to see.
There's quite a lot of other captains nodding, actually, about how balanced it is. Sarfaraz, you were nodding there. You think it will be a very balanced tournament between the 10 of you?
Yeah, definitely. As Morgan and Kohli said, all teams are really balanced. They all are make a good team. So I think wish them all the very best. And people watch, I think, great cricket here.
I mean, Virat mentioned the conditions and English conditions. That suited Pakistan back in the Champions Trophy in 2017. So how much do you draw on that experience?
Definitely, if you see a past record of Pakistan in England, since 92, of talking about the Test series, or 2009 World Cup, or 99 World Cup, or 2017. So Pakistan past record has very good in England. So we are very confident we will do well, inshallah, in this World Cup.
My question is from Sarfaraz. Sarfaraz, we've seen 2 years back in Champions Trophy that in spite of all the not so good performance, you grabbed the Champions Trophy. And what do you think about this time? My first question is, do you regret the idea to play 5 matches against England? And what about the morale of the boys in the team after this series?
No, I don't think so. We are regret to play 5 ODI. I think it's a good practice for us, and we had played lots of good quality cricket here. So I think morale was very high for my team, and we are ready to play World Cup, and we are really hopeful to play good cricket here.
Did you learn a lot from those warm-up matches?
Yes, definitely. I think this is not a warm-up match. We play a top quality cricket, top quality of side. So we have learned a lot. If you take up, either we lost the series, but we take very positive things, just like our batting performing very well. So we are working with the fielding very hard in this at the moment. So hopefully we will do well as a team, inshallah.
Could it be 500?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
I was just going to say it really depends on how these boys get up in the morning and come to play, because they seem to be obsessed with getting to 500 before anyone else. They just come and smash from ball 1 up till 50 overs. So, yeah, look, it could be pretty high scoring, but, this back home we had a press conference and they asked this question as well. But I said, look, 260, 270 is going to be as difficult to get in a World Cup as, chasing 380 or 370. I don't see many high-scoring games happening at the later half of the tournament. Yeah, initially some teams might get on a roll, but you'll see 250 defended as well. That's the kind of pressure the World Cup brings.
Why would it go smaller when you get to the latter stages? Why could it go? Why might it not be as free-flowing with the bats?
Well, look, it really depends on, not all the teams are going to be in a great position. So the ones that sort of have to make sure that they get the result are the ones that are going to be under pressure to chase even a small score down. So I think it's just the fact that you're going to get closer to the knockout stages is what's going to bring more pressure in the later half of the tournament. And I think all the teams recognize that. No one's going to go gung-ho, right from ball 1. In pressure games in a World Cup, you might get a team that just goes on a roll, but I think generally both teams would like to start in a balanced way and then find their way into the game and look to capitalize when the moment comes in. So I see the pressure playing a massive factor in the second half.
Yeah, the gentleman on the front row.
And thank you. My question is Pakistan and Indian captain Sarfaraz and Kohli. Yes, indeed, all matches are very important for all teams, but especially Pakistan versus India match is very, very important, and people are very much excited, and they are looking at tickets, but unfortunately they could not find it. And you will both place in very high level pressure. What do you say on that, please?
Do you get tickets?
I already changed my
high
WhatsApp.
pressure.
I already changed my WhatsApp number very soon.
I think, look, India-Pakistan is always a very, very anticipated match, but we keep saying this again and again. If you ask the players, it's very different from how the fans look at the game compared to how the players play it. Yes, you feel the anticipation and you feel the excitement of the fans when you enter the stadium, but as soon as you step onto the field, it's professional, you know, a bowler trying to execute his skills, a batsman trying to execute his skills to the best of their potential, and for us, it's just another game that you need to win as a team. Yes, it brings pressure because the atmosphere in the stadium is very different, and as I said, you only experience that till the time you start, you know, competing in the game. As soon as you get into it, then at the end of the day, it's a game of cricket for all of us. I know we keep saying this again and again, but that's the truth. That's all, you know, all the cricketers, I'm sure from both the sides feel that as soon as you start playing the game, it eventually is a game of bat and ball, and, you know, that's what you need to focus on.
My answer also the same. Nothing. No difference.
But when the fixtures come out, because you all play each other, is that the first one you looked at to see when you would play Pakistan, or is there another fixture you look at first?
Not really. I mean, in the World Cup, you obviously, I think all the teams must have looked at the first 4 or 5 games that they're going to play, because we're going to play 9. So you prepare accordingly as a side. If the first phase is going to be, you know, how you're going to prepare for different sides, because all the teams would have looked at first 4 games maybe, or, you know, break it down accordingly, however they feel like. So I don't think we single out any game, as I said, because all 10 teams are strong, and on their day they can beat anyone. And as I said, that's the most exciting part of the tournament, and that's something that we have spoken about as a side, that if we focus on playing good cricket, you know, just about us as a side, if we play good cricket, I think we're going to be in a good position in the tournament. If you keep focusing on too much here and there, then, you know, there's too many things to focus on because the teams are so strong. So I'm sure every team would want to focus on their skills and then turn up on the day and hopefully have that skill set better than the opposition.
Yeah.
Question to Mr. Kohli. Mr. Kohli, in most sports there is usually unity amongst the players. Why is that you do not play against Pakistan in your respective countries? What's the reason?
That's not a question for me to answer. I think it's about the cricket boards giving you that answer. We don't hold the authority to speak about these things in press conferences. My personal opinion doesn't matter.
Okay, we have...
Hi, Virat. I know you're often the key wicket that most teams look for in the batting lineup, but how do you feel about being called out by Jofra Archer as the wicket that he wants to take most in this World Cup? And what have you made of his emergence as an international bowler of real potential?
Did he say that? I have no idea. Okay, so that's news to me.
News to me.
News to Mongs as well. Okay, well look, as we don't really focus on these things, even as a individual, you don't really focus on whether people want to get you out or you're being spoken about more or, you know, things like that. Our focus is mainly to contribute to the team in whatever way possible, and I take a lot of pride in performing for the team and, you know, making impact performances every game. So if Jofra said that, it's a big compliment because he himself is a world-class bowler, and the way he's come about in the IPL the last couple of years, I've seen him, and playing all around the world, there's good reason why he's been, you know, fast-tracked into playing for England in a tournament like World Cup. So I think he's probably going to be their X factor because he holds a skill set which is very different from anyone else. He can generate a lot of pace, which can be intimidating, and you don't really expect that because of his run-up, and, you know, but the way he's built, he's just a great athlete, and I'm sure the England team is delighted to have him as well. But he's going to be pretty exciting to watch in the World Cup. I personally would be watching his bowling as well, because whatever I've seen of him, he's been very, very impressive.
Another question, if you've got the microphone.
My question is from Mr. Sarfaraz. 1992 and now is 2019. Will you repeat the history to become a Prime Minister of Pakistan?
What a good question.
Definitely we'll try our level best to win the World Cup here, but I don't know about my future.
Yes. Oh.
Question for Virat. What did your team learn from the recent series loss to Australia, and did that change your perception of them going to the World Cup at all?
I think the one thing we learned, and all of us were standing at the presentation, and the one thing we spoke about, and I spoke to Stoyan as well when we played in the IPL, was the fact that if a team on a given day gets together against a very experienced side and they just believe more that they can win against all the odds, it can be achieved. And I think that's the learning we got from that series that we played. Being 2-0 up, we thought we're definitely going to win 1 out of 3. But they showed more passion, more character, and more determination than us in the small moments. And they enjoyed every moment as a side, which we took a lot of learning from. So you play anyone in this World Cup, you will need to have that passion and that commitment. Otherwise, the other team's going to get one over you. So that was our learning from that particular series that we lost to Australia.
Virat Kohli and one to Gulbadin. Virat, you have played against Rashid in IPL. So I just thought, what's your opinion of him as a bowler and how hard it is to play against him? And to Gulbadin, the question will be in Pashto, so please if you could answer it in Pashto for our program. Lubdali tamu chamtuwale sanga de lubdala musumra chamtuda de World Cup de para o da warm up lobi shidi pade ki sagwade khpal lubgadu para malum kai.
I'll go first. Well, I've seen him bowl for 3 years now in the IPL, and this year was probably the first time I didn't play against him, and it was a pity that even he said that we could not face each other, so that was a pity. I really wanted to face him as well. But this was in 3 years, this was the first time I could sit outside and actually predict 9 out of 10 balls that he bowled. First time in 3 years, and that's how good he's been. He's just outstanding with his skill set. So, I mean, the pace on the ball, I think, is the key. The variations are really subtle, but he just doesn't give you any time on the ball. Forget flighting the ball; it just hits the bat so hard, and before you know it, it's through your pads, or you get bowled out, or you get LBW and stuff like that. So, and he brings that fast bowler intensity with him as a spinner, which is very rare to see. So, I love seeing competitive guys, and his attitude is absolutely outstanding. And I wish him the best, because when he's bowling well, you want to sit down and watch. And I think it's going to be very important for Afghanistan, and I wish him luck.
My question is from the Pakistani captain, Sarfaraz. After the performance of Pakistan against England in the last few matches, you've decided to drop 2 players and then decided to pick up Wahab Riaz and Mohammad Amir. How confident you are, in order to replace them too? Did you feel not confident enough with the other players, and you think, you're going to turn around with those 2 players being replaced in the team?
Definitely, definitely we lost the series, but because we picked Wahab Riaz and Mohammad Ahmed, these are both our senior players. That's why we announced the 17 players, so we have opportunity to pick before the 23rd. So that's why we picked Wahab Riaz, because he know how to bowl in white ball, and he bowl quick as well. So the way when we played against England, so we know, so you have to, your bowler, you has to bowl around 140 plus 145. So that's why we picked Wahab Riaz, and I'm very confident they both are in my team. Also Shadab also can be in the team also. So I'm very confident my bowling attack.